Thought you were rid of me, didn't you? One more thing about my last live stream there. The government has the gall, now that it's been uncovered by The Intercept and by a number of news agencies, that it was members of the United States government that helped to get this situation started by disobeying the law and, as a matter of fact, flagrantly violating it in order to develop a weapon that could then be turned against us. I don't care who released it. And then turn around and tell us that we've got to take another aspect of that weapon to counter it. It's interesting that in all the statements today, remember when Psaki was asked by Emerald Robinson about the very situation I'm talking about with Dr. Faustus, Psaki just turned and walked away. They didn't even want to talk about it. The DOJ and the FBI are not going to go after him. So the very government is warring against us. What did I say? On multiple fronts, in depth, and full spectrum dominance. Ladies and gentlemen, anybody who thinks this government's legitimate, and I don't mean just the Biden government, I mean the government as a whole, to do this, for them to function and finance this entire weapon system, and then to say that we're the enemy because we don't want to partake in their little charade. Wow. That should tell you everything you need to know. Now, let me just say that in my estimation, even if they were to prosecute Fauci, that isn't going to happen. But let's just say that it does. They've already got their reason for insisting on the GMI, don't they? Because whether or not they go after Fauci, they're going to claim that this thing is out there and that they need to protect us from it. Even though they don't, because they're denying all sorts of common sense treatments. There is no doubt that this is a war, and people better wake up. Your government financed this weapon system, hid it from you, pretended like they had nothing to do with it. You remember when the government, the FBI, said, well, who are these Zarnov brothers? We've never seen them before. Who are these guys? Will the public please help us to figure out who these guys are? And they were FBI informants. The FBI had been dealing with them, and the CIA for a long time. So here we go with this little game again. Who is going to call these people out? Rand Paul, Massey, Johnson, Cruz, the governors? I understand I got a thing from Roosevelt. Roosevelt says that some governors are already starting to file lawsuits. Well, it's going to take more than that, I'm afraid, okay? All right, that's all I've got. Just remember, the government financed this weapon system against you, like all the weapon systems I told you before that they were testing in Afghanistan, and now they're turning in on you. This is exactly the same thing, type of thing. They financed it, now they're turning it on you, and no matter what you do, you're the enemy. Because if you take this GMI, you're going to get a real problem, as most of you know. Down the road, if not immediately. If you don't get it, they're going to come and they're going to throw you in those, let's see, what was that called by Bill Ayers and the Weather Underground? They were going to put people in camps, re-education camps, and kill like 60 million in 1970s numbers, which would now be probably close to 100 million. Ladies and gentlemen, this is in our faces. We got to see it for what it is. That's all I got.